Hi there, Gemini. How are you guys doing? I really hope that this video finds you well. Welcome to your weekly reading. Back with me again, Anisa from the Inner Stereo. Take a deep breath in. It's kind of like a little bit heavy in here. Somebody in your relationship sector is a little bit anxious. High Priestess in reverse. By the way, we're going to be doing a pick a card reading by the end of the session. Going to be putting a timestamp in the video as well. When is the pick a card reading? Right after the one person scenarios. All right. Don't forget to check your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign. This is a general reading, so the reading might resonate or might not resonate. And also, because this is a general reading, so the roles might get reversed. Let's talk now, guys. So your overall energy for the now, you have the High Priestess in reverse, you have the Strength card, and you also have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So you're kind of like pulling back away and not wanting to put in any type of work or effort or consistencies or persistencies into this relationship, and you kind of like wanted to, I'm not going to say stand still, but you just want to wait and see what happens. You have a Strength card here, so you're exercising like a lot of your patience. To some of you though, you kind of like still believe that the relationship is something, because you can see here like the lady here is taming her lion because she knows that she is onto something that is beautiful, her treasure there. So you're kind of like exercising like a lot of your patience, but you don't want to do anything about it. You just kind of like want to stand still. High Priestess in reverse kind of like indicates that you might want to be exploring your sexualities, or it could be that you do have like a certain type of thoughts about this relationship. So you have already picked a side, whether it's a good thought about the other person or whether it's a bad thought about the other person. What's challenging here is Ace of Pentacles and also the Seven of Wands. This kind of like tells me that your relationship needs to be rebuilt at some point, because the Seven of Wands, especially in this particular deck of mine, is a bit different, right? Because he's kind of like rebuilding something, see? Usually it's somebody who needed to defend themselves, but this is like they don't care. So your relationship has to be rebuilt on a stronger foundation than it was previously, and it needed to be built on a much more stable ground rather than what it was previously as well. Because Ace of Pentacles is like a promise of something that is tangible, and then we do things in order for us to make sure that the tangible future is on the way. So here's the thing: in the past, this your person, whoever it is that you were dealing with, this person was not really active, because they feel that one, they already done enough for this relationship, and it's kind of like their time to enjoy their return of investment. And then if you guys are dealing with one person, your person in the past was hurt as well, you know, as you can see with the Three of Swords in there. So because they were hurt, they feel like, well, I've done a lot anyway, so I'm just going to be sitting back and relaxing and just kind of like wait and see what Gemini, you know, going to be doing about it. The more they wait, the more that they're kind of like stuck in the place. And there's anger in it too. You have a Page of Cups there. Ten of Swords in reverse. You were also healing from something. You guys were also healing with something, so now they have the Seven of Swords in reverse. This is interesting. Tower card. Okay. Queen of Swords. Knight of Swords. The thing is that if this is a relationship that has been happening for quite a while, you know, you've sacrificed a lot for this person, up to the point that you forget to nurture yourself or to think, you know, to bring off something good about yourself. And once you start doing that, once you start kind of like switching your focus from a relationship to you, that's when they get hurt. You know, I have like a lot of Geminis in my life. My mom is a Gemini, my aunt is a Gemini. I think I kept telling about this, and I kind of like realized Geminis, once they're in love, they kind of like pour themselves out to their partner a lot, and then until at a time that they realize, wow, I've been bending my spine backwards all the time, and kind of like now it's time for me to focus on myself. But because your partner was so used of you bending your spine backwards for them all the damn time, once you choose to not to, that's when they got hurt. That's when it comes like a shock to them. And then now you're kind of like very, very stubborn with your stance, and I'm kind of like saying good for you, because you have a star card here. So you're focusing on, you know, chasing after your aspirations, chasing after what makes you feel good. You kind of like wanting to go ahead and focus on your north node and what kind of like makes you fulfilled in a certain type of way. It came to them as a shock. When you guys are shiny and then kind of like wanted to whip your horse and just kind of like move forward with your life and focusing a lot on what makes you happy, it came to them as a shock. So with the Seven of Swords in here might tell me that, you know, for some of you, whoever it is that you're dealing with might do something to get a reaction out of you, to bring your focus back to them again. But I think you're kind of like immune to that, because you have a Queen of Swords, right? Queen of Swords is somebody who's very, very smart. It's like you guys are telling to yourself, I know exactly what that person is trying to do, and I'm not going to play along. I'm just going to go ahead and charge to, you know, what makes me happy for my own. That means 5 cards in the future. Three of Cups. Page of Swords. You know, if you guys are not in contact with whoever it is that you're dealing with, this person is kind of like really wanting to know what you guys are up to. It's kind of like similar to one of the signs. I forgot what was that. Like last year, one of the signs also had a stalker. Hangman in reverse. Ooh, argument. Argument. Fight. This is a battle of ego in here. Pride competition. 2. So what? Wait, yeah. So this person might come around to you in the future, right? Because they have the Knight of Cups and they also have the Knight of Wands. And what do they want to do is that they want to kind of like rebuild the friendship aspect of the relationship, wanting to make you trust them again. But so that's why they're trying to rebuild the friendship aspect. So it's not that they're going to be all lovey-dovey towards you, but it's just going to be like, you know, you can share if you have a problem with me, you know, that type of conversations and all that. But, you know, deep down inside, they also not trust you, because they have like, you both are skeptic with one another, right? Especially if you guys are dealing with one person, you both are really, really skeptic with one another. So even though they're acting nice towards you in the future, they're still going to be stalking and kind of like observing the hell out of you. And it doesn't matter if you guys have social media or not. There's like a lot of ways for people to stalk or try to observe you, you know. If you don't believe me, get yourself a creepy stalker and then we'll talk. So yeah, and you know how you're going to respond to them is that you have the Justice card. So you're not going to make any type of hasty decisions at all. You're going to want to try to weigh in the pros and cons and see if this person has changed or not, if you think that this relationship is fixable or not. But you're still in Justice card there. To some of you though, especially if you guys are dealing with either water signs or air signs, in the future when this person comes into you, they're trying to get patient, right? Because they're trying to kind of like talk with you every day, but they're not really satisfied with your conversation because everything seems to be above the surface, not really on the inside. They kind of like wanted you to say how much you love them, that you guys are sorry, that you miss them, that you're this and that, but I don't think it's going to come out of your mouth. And then they're going to snap right away. And you guys are going to have a hell of a amazing argument there with the 5 of Wands. Oh, drama. It's hard to build a relationship when one party is very, very skeptical of the other. I don't think you guys are that skeptical, but you just feel that you don't want to be played anymore, and you don't want to fall into a trap of any type of mental, emotional manipulations whatsoever. So if they were to come to you being super duperly open, I think you might open up to them. I don't know. Let's just see the pick a card reading, right? Because this is obviously a general reading, so it's not a one size fit for all. But it's not like you're waiting around for them anymore, though, in the future. I mean, in the now, you guys are not waiting around for them, too. So you're going to be less patient than you guys are in a now, in the future, because you're like, okay, one last chance. If you change, then good for you. But I'm still going to be observing you a lot. Right? So that is it if you guys are dealing with one person. I'm going to be putting a timestamp over here to when is the pick a card reading start. So now let's move on to the two people scenarios. So if you guys are only doing one person, your reading ends a few seconds ago. I'm going to have to clarify something. I see. So, let's start with person A. Person A is somebody who had hurt you before. But in the past, you were trying to heal from them. And then in the past, they kind of like have this feeling that the ball is in your court. So they're not wanting to kind of like do anything about it because they feel that the ball is in your court. You're the one who needs to approach them or whatever. So they're kind of like busy watering their plants and probably giving some hints here and there and opening doors, but not really initiating anything, if that makes sense. So that was person A in the past. And now though, like, because you guys are super duper focused on, charging ahead and moving forward with your life and focusing on what makes you happy and all of that, this person kind of like came to them as a shock because they feel that you guys don't care about them anymore. And it's like you're shining and they're hurting. It's like, how can you be okay and live in your best life while I'm kind of like stuck in the situation and everything like that. So it kind of like going to hit them like a tower because they feel that, tower, even though it's a good, it is a positive card. It is, it means that there's a sudden changes into our lives, but sometimes it doesn't feel good, right? So they're going to get hurt. I think they're hurting right now. In the future, this person stalks the hell out of you, observing the hell out of you, wanting to know what you guys are up to. And I think in the future, you guys are not really going to wait around because you feel that there's like a lot of beautiful things in the horizon waiting for you to grab, right? So that's person A. Person B is, the thing is that with person B, this person fell for you emotionally even before you fell for them. In the past, you guys are kind of like busy sharing your cups of love, not just to them. So maybe you're juggling them with another parties, or it could be that you guys were having a great, talk with them and date and hanging out and everything like that with them, but they're not really your main priorities because you also have your kids or maybe your children or your families or your work. You kind of like you try to, give or divide your intention generously to all parts of your life, so they don't kind of like feel very much prioritized. This person is very, very sensitive and they want you to prioritize them a lot. What happens in it now though is that they have the Seven of Swords, so it's either they're going to betray you by going out with somebody else, or it could be that they're trying to test an emotional reaction out of you. They're trying to mentally or emotionally manipulate you or whatsoever. But the thing is that with this person, I think because you grow so smart now, you're not going to fall for that trap. You're like the Queen of Swords. You guys are like, oh, kiddo, I know exactly what you're doing, and I'm not going to play. I'm not going to fall. This is beyond my level. Like you just guys kind of like have that feeling. So because they know that it's not working with you, so in the future, this person is then going to try to come about and come around to you again, rebuilding the friendship aspect of things, and in which you guys are kind of like a little bit skeptical because you have the Justice card. So I'm not making any decisions right now. I'm going to give you a chance to prove yourself, but it's not that making decisions as of now. All right, so now let's move on to a pick a card reading. Okay guys, so I have 4 piles of cards with me now. You have pile number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Please choose one pile of card, because you don't want to end up getting confused. And I'm going to give you 20 seconds of silence for you guys to concentrate, all right? All right, so let's go. For those of you who chose pile number 1, you have the Queen of Cups, you have the King of Wands, you have the Sun card, you have the Lover's card, and you also have the Four of Swords. So you have 5 cards. I usually just pull 4 cards, but this one fell out too. So we're going to take it. You might be dealing with the water signs Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, or a fire signs Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, predominantly Leo, and then also another Gemini of yourself, or maybe a Virgo. So what this tells me is that you guys are off to completely different personalities. You are much more of the King of Wands, so you know exactly who you are, you know exactly what you want, and you're not afraid to get that. And then your partner, on the other hand, is much more of the Queen of Cups. So Queen of Cups is somebody who's actually, regardless of whatever it is that you might think of your partner, but your partner is actually a natural empath. Okay, they're very, very emotional. They're very, very sensitive. If they were to be brought up, if they were to grow up in a healthy environment, they'd be a natural empath. They're going to be amazing lovers. They have this ability to empathize and sympathize with people. They have this ability to be extremely intuitive of other people as well. If they were to grow up in a healthy environment, they'd be very, very tremendously good. So because of these differences, King of Wands are usually somebody who has no problem at all in communicating and leading a relationship. So this card kind of tells me that because you guys are much more of the masculine figure and also of the King of Wands figure, you need to kind of take a little bit of a leadership role and guide your partner who is having a little bit of a hard time accepting who they should become, to start communicating in healthy ways of what they feel like. Because Queen of Cups, if it's not in a positive energy, could result in somebody who is extremely insecure, who is extremely scared or afraid of being vulnerable with their emotions, could result in somebody who became extremely emotionally manipulative or mental manipulations as well. And that's because they cannot control that. So what you can do as being the King of Wands person is that you can kind of lead them and show them how to do it, how to be comfortable in expressing our emotions, how to be comfortable in expressing our desires and our needs, and then to guide and also to kind of encourage them to be the same way, so that you guys could have a easier, healthier type of relationship along the way. And why do I come up with this conclusion is because you have the Four of Swords here. And remember, this is after tarot, so the interpretation is going to be extremely different than traditional Rider-Waite Tarot. I'm sorry guys, but it's you see how this woman is kind of giving him the flowers, and you could, because there is a lot of tug of wars that's happening within them. You see this Queen of Wands here, the Sun card, and the Sun card is playfully wanting to take ownership of that flag. So your partner is having a hard time battling between who they're supposed to be. Again, as I said, a good lovers, an understanding partner, a natural empath, and then their dark side, which is their shadow side. So they're having a little bit of a difficulties in battling these things two out. So you might want to help them. And how do you help them? Is becoming a Gemini that you guys are truly are. I grew up with Geminis in my life. I have a lot of Gemini family members. My best friend is a Gemini and all that. And I cannot help but to admit that you guys are a natural born communicator, natural born negotiators. You could kind of break the ice and make people comfortable with you and everything like that. Try to use that talent to kind of help this person out. Even if it doesn't work out, you still kind of going to have a good karma by providing help or supporting this person to be much more comfortable with their emotions. Okay? So that is it if you guys chose pile number 1. So let's see if you guys chose pile number 2. Wow. So you have the 3 of Swords, you have the 6 of Pentacles, you have the Wheel of Fortune, and you also have the 10 of Cups here after Tarot, so interpretation is going to be different. So you've been hurt, right? You've been hurt. And what this card tells me that, you know, stop doing that. Stop hurting yourself. Stop being stuck in a situations or environment or relationship that keeps on hurting you over and over again. Learn from your mistakes, heal your wounds, you know, move on with your life. One of the best thing about being mutable is that we could get distracted really easily, right? Like I could tell that for myself because I'm a Sagittarius, we're mutable. And then start focusing on things, other things for other people. Some of you might have Jupiter in Cancer though, like in your chart. Because this is the best influence for Jupiter in Cancer. So every time we're generous for other people, we bring good luck to ourselves. So try to find activities in which you're going to be helping other people, like for instance charity, donations, or maybe you help out friends in need. You became their good listening ears. You know that one person is kind of like suffering from something, you reach out to them and everything like that. That's going to open like a lot of doors of opportunities. If you guys are single, don't worry, this thing is going to come out. You know, a happy relationship is going to come your way. But the only way for you guys to kind of like manifest that is that you need to focus a lot on other people. When you're generous with other people, that's when your luck kind of like increases. So any way you want to put it, if you want a good career, if you want to have a promotions, if you want to have a good business or anything, when you do good to other people, you kind of like increase your luck to attain whatever it is that you want. For some of you too, you do have like a family members who kind of like really misses you a lot. Or maybe a friend who has been kind of like asking your whereabouts or whatever that is. And it's time to you to kind of like give them attentions that they need. Because in there, you'd find something beautiful. Like, trust me, just do it. Like, you'd find something beautiful, or you find a wisdom, or you find a knowledge there, or you find like a sense of like a fulfillment there. But it's just going to make you like a lot happier. All right, so that is it if you guys chose pile number 2. Let's move on to those if you chose pile number 3. Queen of Swords. You see, the interesting part about this Queen of Swords is that suddenly there's a butterfly there, right? And then to this Queen of Swords, surprise. Oh wow, that's a butterfly. 6 of Wands, 9 of Wands, the Fool card, and also the Page of Cups. You, my love, my friend. Need to open up a little bit more. You need to relax a little bit more. You need to chill a little bit more. You know, Queen of Swords is somebody who always sees things in her logical perspective. So every time something happens to her or him, she needs to kind of like mentally process that, right? But when we are in a relationship with people, regardless if it's a partner or a lover or a friend or whatever that is, we need to be emotionally connected to other people as well. So you are a bit intimidating for people to approach. If you guys are single and you're wondering, why am I still single? Well, you're intimidating. Like every time people come to you, they feel you're kind of like cold, or I don't know, there's just this intimidating factors that you have. Starts to chill, starts to relax. I mean, Geminis you're good at socializing, really good. But even with one of my Gemini friends that I know of, you know, I can know she's good, but I also know that when it comes to her love relationship, she could be quite intimidating. So to become less intimidating and to be more open and vulnerable and try to more emotionally connect with other people. Because there is somebody in your life already. Just kind of like give them that gift. You know, 6 of Wands here is giving the gift to the girl, right? The girl is celebrating him. So if you guys are single, you actually have somebody in your life who has been a distant admirer of you, who has been constantly like, wow, you're doing a good job, Gemini, but I'm so afraid of approaching you because you guys are damn scary. Try to give them that time on a day. So intimidating. See? People are so scared of approaching you, dude. What are you doing? Even your ex, whoever it is that you're dealing with, they're so afraid. And what happens when they're afraid? You know, every time they approach you, they do silly things, right? You see this Page of Cups? He was trying to give you, the first fish that they caught, and because they're so nervous, the fish just end up flying, and they dropped it. You guys are so intimidating. This could also talk about your current relationship that you're dealing with in and now. You know, your partner, maybe one of the reasons why your partner is so hard at expressing their emotions is because they're scared of you. You're like this figure who is so hard to attain. You're this figure who they respect so much and they think so highly of, and they have this trouble or problem of reaching to you. Try to be a little bit more open. Do impulsive or stupid things sometimes, not relationship wise, but just like, I don't know, go skydiving, bungee jumping, like do things that you know for sure that you're not ever going to do, but just do it. Go ahead, take that leap, okay? Don't be too scary. You scare me too. All right, so that is it for those of you who chose pile number 3. Let's move on to those of you who chose pile number 4. Queen of Wands, Knight of Swords, Page of Wands, Four of Wands, and also the High Priestess. After tarot deck, guys, so the interpretation is going to be extremely different than traditional Rider-Waite Tarot. I keep saying this because people keep on complaining every time whatever. So what is it that you need to do? You know, one of the interesting part about this Queen of Wands is that she's not facing in the present. She's not facing the future. She's actually facing the past. So what do you need to do with your past person? You need to revisit that page again. What you should do when you revisit that page again, you need to pour out all of your bottled up emotions, even if it has to kill them, even if it's really mean. Tell them exactly what you think of them. Tell them exactly what has been bothering you. There is this unfinished business going on between you and them. They say kill it with kindness, right? No, you kill it with the truth. One of the reasons why you feel that you might be having this weird type of threat or connection or whatever with this person and everything like that is because you have an unfinished business with this person. It's either your bottle up emotions, your bottle up questions, you're wondering about certain type of things or whatever that is. Finish it off so that you can kind of like walk to the horizon and enjoy a life happily ever after with or without them. Actually, it's without, because you have a Page of Wands. Here, in Page of Wands is walking away from his object of desire because he knows that there is more to life than just staying with her, right? So face your past. Face your past. Revisit that past. Kill it with just truth. Knight of Swords. Extreme truth, opinions, questions, whatever. And then you leave it at that. Why? Because you have the Four of Wands coming your way. Do it now before it's too late. You see the Four of Wands, the Four of Wands in traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, they're celebrating something right with this Four Wands. The carriage is leaving. The more you stay, the more you're going to miss out on life. Maybe there's going to be like a good suitors in your life that you might miss out really, really soon if you don't do it really, really soon. You know what I mean? Some of you might have like a new person who might be a Pisces. Or would have a Neptune in his first house, his or her first house. So very, very Neptunian quality. That you need to face your past. You need to finish what you need to finish off. And then you have the High Priestess in here. So High Priestess here talks about us being spiritual or religious. So closer to God or closer to the universe. 2. When you do that, you have an easier time or an easier path to try to manifest anything that you want in your life. All right? So I think that is it for my reading for you, Gemini. I really do hope that you find tons and tons of clarity you've been looking for. And I really do hope to see you next week for another weekly reading. All right, bye-bye, guys. Have a great day. I love you.